right, I'm back. So now we are going to put some rows of dots in this space here. And I like for those dots to be small, on the small side. So I use a 3mm rod. I just think they look a lot, they look a lot better when they're small instead of the big, like 6mm ones. It takes longer to do them, but I just like the effect, so I think it's worth it. I'm gonna stay on the left side of this palette for now. I'm gonna start bringing in the pink and the coral when we get up to this element here. But for now, I'm gonna stick with the greens and blues, and I'm not gonna use color number 1 because we use so much of that here. So I'm gonna use color 2 and 3. I'm gonna start with 2 and 3mm rod. You should only have room for 2 rows. And I don't double dip when I'm doing these. It would take forever. Maybe on a commission piece I might, but allergies today. Goodness gracious. So I'm on that circle that we added in, the one that's closest to the design. then I'm gonna use color number 3, which is the Sea Breeze. Same tool. And I'm going in between the previous dots. I'm actually testing this color palette out because planning to do a big piece using a very similar palette. I actually mixed the colors using my golden paints, and I mixed 7 or 8 colors, so I've got more colors to work with since it's a bigger piece. So it's gonna look a little different, but same vibe. So I wanted to see how it looked. Before I committed a big board to it. I can already tell, I think I want some more darker colors in it. I think it's a little pastel-y for me, but it's really pretty. It's very soft. I just like to have some dark colors to work with for contrast. But we'll see how it looks when it's all done. I haven't brought in that darker pink yet either. And we're getting there. There we go. All right. So now let's look at this petal here. And it's a pretty small petal. So I think what I'm gonna do is maybe do a teardrop here. You probably can't see that. Teardrop here. Brush strokes here. A larger dot here. Some micro dots around it. And that will leave me just a little bit of space here where until I see how much I've got to work with, I won't know. All right, and I'm gonna do the brush strokes in the cool blue and green colors. I'm gonna do this dot here. Actually, let me see. I'm gonna do this teardrop in the light pink. Then I'm gonna do this dot here in the color number 1, and then I'll do colors 2 and 3 for these brush strokes. Okay, we have a plan. So teardrop, I'm gonna use the big end of my green stylus, and I'm using the lighter pink, color number 5. I'm going right under that guideline, that circular guideline that runs right through the middle of your petal. You should have one there too. And I'm quadruple dipping. And then I take my needle tool, my favorite tool in the world, again by Erin Ridley. If you don't have this tool, I highly recommend it. If you want the link to it, just hit me up and I'll send it to you. But this is the best swooshing tool I have ever, and I've tried them all. So I'm just gonna shape this into a teardrop kind of swoosh like that. Yep. And we'll do that all the way around. So I like to make a big pile of paint to drag so that the top of the swoosh will look nice and plump. I like this tool because it's sharp enough to give me pointy tails, but not so sharp that it sticks to the board. It's the perfect, glides like butter. And you can see how the dots, when I'm putting them down, you can see how they bubble up. That's because of that gel that I added. It helps them keep their shape and their plumpness. Plumpness, that's the word, plumpness. And with that gel, they will dry more plump too. They don't flatten out when they dry like a lot of times it happens. Even you can get it plump by layering, but then you let it dry and it's back to where it was flat. All right, so I'm gonna go to color number 2, which is my jadeite glass. And I'm going to do a brush stroke that starts at the pink swoosh and goes down. I have to raise my camera up. It's in my way. So I'm going to start here and go down like that. So there's a guideline, a circular guideline right there that I'm using to start on. Remember on your brush strokes, you want to load up your brush good with paint. Push down at a 90-degree angle and then come up at the tail so that you're just dragging the tip of the brush at the end of the stroke. So flat and then up into the point. Don't be afraid to really push down at the beginning. Don't be afraid to load it up with paint. So really thin tails at the bottom of these. And these are small spaces, so you may find that the large rigger brushes are just too much brush for this little space here, in which case if you have the shorter liner brushes might be a better way to go for this space. Unless you're really good with the brush, you can use the big rigger brushes if you're good at controlling your brush, but you gotta lift up pretty quick to get that tail at the end. All right, and then same thing, but with the blue, so color number 3, which is my Sea Breeze. So I'm just going down a little bit. And running along that brush stroke that I just made. These are a little harder because it's even a shorter stroke. I'm going just above the next circle where I'm starting my strokes. It's always easier going one direction than the other with brush strokes, isn't it? Okay. And now I want to put the bigger dot, probably about, I want to have room to put microdots around it. So I think this is right. This is a 6 millimeter. And I'm gonna use color number 1, which is my pistachio mint. And I'm going to go just kind of almost on the crosshairs of the circle and that guideline, but a little bit this direction towards the pink swoosh, because I want room to put microdots around this, around these dots. So just come up from the bottom a little bit and put your dot down. And I always double dip my big dots. Just kind of aiming for the center of that space there. And when I put the second layer, I'm just dropping the paint off. I'm not pushing into the dot again because I don't want to make it bigger. First time I put it down, I kiss the surface. I don't smash it down. But the second time, I'm just dropping off the paint, you see. Right, and then take my cone. And I'm just gonna go around each one of these with microdots. You see how much faster that is than with a tool. When you're trying to dot microdots, we have to dip, dot, dip, dot, dip, dot, dip, dot, where with the cone you can just zip around quick. We want to leave some negative space because otherwise, what's the point of doing the background if you can't see it? So like here, I've got this little bit of negative space here. I'll probably leave that. I might put a smaller dot on either side of this green dot, but I'm not gonna fill it in completely because I want the background to be able to sing a little bit. That's the whole point of doing it. That's why I don't do heavy brush stroke patterns in these shapes, because they would completely cover up the background. Plus, I like dot art, and I don't, not that the brush stroke stuff's not pretty, it is, but I like to incorporate as much dotting as I can too. All right, I'm gonna stop the video there and break the next and do a new video for the rest of this, or else I'm gonna be uploading forever on this video. So I'll be back in the next video.